Hello everyone, welcome to the Nilesh Technology YouTube channel. So in this video we are going to discuss the React components. So component is a basic part of a React.js library, or what we say that it's a very big advantage in a React.js. So React is a component base. So how the component is work, so we will see those things step by step. Okay, so first see the what is the purpose of a component, or what is the use of component. So components are the independent and the reusable bit of a code. So every component is independent, so it work like separate files. We can send the some properties to the one file to another file, get the data from the one component to the another component. So like that, component is one of the core building block of a React. So UI is divided into the multiple components, or what we say that multiple files, and each files the code is developed independently. Okay, so the note is that every component name must start with an uppercase letter. So keep in mind this thing. Okay, so let's go to the next thing. So see, for example, we want to design a website like this way. In that website there are some header section, footer section, side navigation section, and the main content. So when we design this website using the HTML CSS, we write each and every code in a single file, index.html, right? But when we start to design this file using the React, then we divide the each section in a separate file. So that file is called as component. So we create a header section differently, side nav section differently, footer section differently, and main content differently. So we create a separate files, and all those files are merged into the main render file. So that's why React is called as a component based architecture. Okay, so each and every section is divided into the different components like that. Okay, so basically the components is divided into the two types: class component and function component. So let's first see the example of a function component, but because it's easy and rare to use. So this is the VS Code. We already created a first application in the last video. This is just a hello project. So I just copy all those files except the node underscore modules. Copy, create folder 3.component, and paste all those files and folder into this folder. After that I go to the directory cd 3.components. I hit the command npmi. So after hitting this command, node underscore module folder is get created. So all the dependencies is installed to the directory. After that I hit the command npm start to run the server. npm start to run the server. So server is started. See, this is the hello React.js last program. Okay, now we continue the code from this 3.component folder, or you can continue to the first app as well. Okay, I will show you each and every programs in a separate projects, and I will push that code into the GitHub. So you will get very easy to download the each and every separate project for separate video. Okay, there is no issue. So in src, in index.js, we already use the app. In app.js, we just pass the hello React.js. So this is a function name is app, and here we export the app. So whenever we use the export, then we are able to use that function to another file. So in React language we say that whenever the any function is export, then that component is reusable or usable to the another component. So app is a component, index.js is our the main render file. So here we call the app. So why it's able to callable the component? Because we use the export statement. Okay, there are two ways to export the statement. First one is export default. When we use the export default, then in index.js it's directly import the app. Okay, but it's not a default. Then there is a different way to import it. I will show you when I create the one more component. Let me create one more component in the same file app.js. For example, here let me create a one more function. We say that my function, and we return in header to hello my function. Okay, so this function is created. Now I want to use that function inside the app. So this is the h1 is a header one. After that I need to call my function. So it shows the error. Why it shows the error? Because in return there are two statement. So when there are two statement, you need to use a parenthesis to bind these two statement. And another important statement is that you need to bind these two statement inside a one main block. So now here I use a div block. Okay, so in React it's not allowed to pass the multiple statement in a single return function. You need to pass only one parent function. So that's why div is act like as a parent, and all those statements are inside the div. Okay, so now this is the statement of this function, and my func is called inside this app function. So my func it's like component, it's work like component. Okay, let me save those changes. So okay, I will show you in here. Whenever I save, Control S, so the server is automatically refresh. So it's a first statement, it's a second statement. Okay, you can also create a separate file using this function. Okay, you can also create a function inside the same file, as well as we create a separate file. So it's best way to create a separate file, because all the codes is divided into the separate files. So no file is too longer. Okay, so on time of debugging or finding the bugs, finding the issues, it's easy to resolve it when the code is divided into the multiple files. Okay, so let me create a separate file. I just Control X, go to my folder structure. In the src, let me create a new file. So my file name is that my func.js. Okay, one more thing is that when you create a new file of any directory structure, so there are some shortcuts available, rafc, rafce. So when you use the rafce, select it, you will get some default React code, like the default return statement, it's a const, it's export, everything you will get the default. Okay, otherwise you can type it. But whenever you create a new file in a React.js, you just type it rafce. Just when you select the rafc, you will get the export directly in here. Okay, the meaning is same, just syntax is different. And when you use the rafce, this one is okay. Now I change the statement inside the div, like hi external file, or we use inside the header 3. So I think div is not required because there is only one statement. So div is not required. Let me save it. Okay, now go to here. Here there is no function, but here shows the error. Okay, so whenever you go to here and click on a quick fix, so you will get the options of the import, or if you are not get it, just again go to save it the code properly and try one more time. Okay, or control space yes, select it. So it's the function is imported. Import myfunc from /myfunc. Okay, so in the current directory you will get the my function. So here I just import it. Let me save it. Hi external file. So like this way you can create a multiple components in a src section or any other folders, or you can import it like this way. Now let me show you when there is a no default. It's maybe it's export like this way. Let me save it. So it's a compile with problem because here the import is not a default. So when you remove the default, you need to import this function like this way. Save it. It's run. So what is the difference? Difference is not a big difference. So think about it. When in a single function, if you want to export more than one thing in a single file, so in default that is not possible. Default you can export only one function or variable, only one thing you can export it as a default. But if you need to export the many functions or many variables, you need to export like this way. Let me show you one more. Let me copy this thing one more time. This is a my function 1, this is my function 2, external file 1, external file 2. Here import like this way, again my function 2. So both functions are imported. So save it. So here you can like this one, and you can call it like this way. This one is the second. Save it. Okay, so see like this way. And now here when the one function is default and one function is normal export, yeah, you can do it, no issue. Now like my function 2 is a default, then you can here export default my func 2. So my func 2 is a default function and this is my the normal export. Let me save it. Go to here. My function 2 is the default function. Let me remove, and if you are go to here, so it's imported like this way. Okay, this is the without bracket. Without bracket import statement is a default statement. With bracket is a normal export functions. Okay, so there is no big difference. Let me say let me repeat again. In a in an component, only one thing is exported by default, either variable or function or class, whatever, only one thing. But if you want to export the many thing from the single component, you need to export like this way. Okay, like that. Let me save it. So error is remove. So this is called as a function component. Okay, so function component are just like a JavaScript function that accept the properties and return a React element. So we can create a functional component like this way. This is my function, and inside that welcome we just pass that the hello message like this way, and we can whatever return statement is there, we use it welcome to the another component and call it. Okay, so let's explain it. What is the class component? let me create a one more file, new file, my class.js. okay, and again array-fce. So by default the const class is created, but let me convert this program to class component. Okay, so export statement I keep as it is. Let me remove it. Class, my class, this is my class name. Okay, and you need to extend the component, extends the component. Yeah, so this thing is need to import here, extends component. Then yeah, there is render method is different. Inside that render you need to call the return statement. Okay, now there is only one, my class example. Okay, so save it everything. Okay, now you want to this is the default export. Go to the app.js. After that, I think this is the browser, this one. After that, let me call my class. So see, my class is imported. My class is imported. This is a default export, right? So yeah, now let me save it, my class example. Okay, so just the structure is different. This is the function way we handle it, the render method and other thing, and this is a class way we can handle it. So there is little bit difference, like for defining the states, defining some initial things, render methods. So something is different in a class component. But as per my experience and as per my last lot of projects, most of the projects use the functional component. So that's why we continue the next videos from the functional component, and whenever we required it, the class component, we can surely use it. So there is no meaning that we are not using the class component on any program. So there is no meaning like that. But whatever the conceptual things is there, we can cover it using the functional component, but we can also see the more examples using the class component in some upcoming videos. So don't worry about it. Okay, so this thing is covered. Yeah, so I already told you that in that the class component, the constructor defining, then the hooks using the thing is some different, the syntax is some like a different. So the page life cycle is look like different. Okay, so so don't worry about it. We can, whenever we start the hooks related things, we can take the one example using the class component. Okay, fine. So this is a very important questions in an interview. What is the function component and class component? And another important question of interview is that what is the difference in between the function component and class component? Okay, so this is a very important video. You will get the more idea about the both the components. You will get the both components examples as well. So see, the difference is the functional component, this is just a plain JavaScript pure function that accepts the props as an argument and it return a JSX. And the class component extend the react.component and create a render function that return the React element. Okay, so both component return the React element, but just syntax is different. So in functional there is no render method, but in class there is a render method. Functional is a stateless component and it's a stateful component because they implement the logic and the state inside the class. So whenever you not create an object of that the class, then it's the class is just like the stateful component. Okay, so there is a class, so we have an option to use a constructor, but in functional there is no option to use the constructor. So this is the difference. Okay, so let me I have one interview related question, so I will ask in this video and I will give you the answer in next video. Okay, so just comment your the answer. So let's discuss in comment, and you will get the definitely answer of this question to the next video. So my question is that can we create a nested function in a React? In function you can also call as a component. Can we create a nested component in React? If yes, then explain me. If no, then explain me why no. Okay, so we will explain those things in next video and continue to the next point. So in next video we will cover what is the JSX. So JSX related things we can discuss in a next video. Okay, so keep learning, keep watching. Please like and subscribe this channel to motivate me or to inspire me. Okay, so see you on next video. Bye bye.